Exactly 2 weeks ago, news of another disruption at the Moi Girls School, Nairobi, broke with students protesting the alleged rape of one of their own. Less than 2 weeks down the line, 700 students of Maasai Girls High School in Narok marched out of the school to protest sexual harassment by one of their male teachers. And just 2 days ago, police launched a manhunt for 2 teachers who booked rooms at a bar while accompanied by 2 students. Occurrences of concern, which Olive Burrows discusses with a focus group on NTV Weekend Edition.
These recent reports of the Moi Girls issue and the Maasai Girls issue, but is it something that has been going on for longer and we just never heard about it?
These things have been happening from time immemorial.
So it's not necessarily a social media problem.
I have equally been a victim where a teacher would tell me, I'm not going to assist you in mathematics because you have to do this. It has happened. So as well, a parent should not just bombard your child into wanting to know how is Hope performing in mathematics, in science, what's the other side.
But then there was this subject called calculus. It was just Greek, rocket science for me. So then I think this teacher just realized this lady is struggling with calculus. That was in university. So he failed me. So he kept on frustrating me and frustrating me. So I decided, you know what? I can't tell my mom or my dad because I was ashamed. I was scared they would tell me, you're thinking things that are not there. You're just not paying attention to the subject. So I changed course and I took something else because the teacher was asking me to meet him somewhere else after, to discuss how I can pass that subject. Yeah. So I decided, let me change what I'm doing in school. I didn't explain to my parents why, but I knew. I was ashamed of coming forward and saying, you know what? The teacher was putting sexual advances towards me.
Hope, did you feel like somehow you were at fault when your teacher came to you and told you if you want good math marks, then there are conditions?
I was able to actually tell my mom that such a teacher has told me this, and she actually told me what to do.
So Peter, there were reports that the young girl who was allegedly assaulted at Moi Girls School was told to just go and take a shower, and that's it. Is that a cultural sort of, has that been a cultural response to incidences of rape and assault?
Incidents of rape and assault are covered in that way. Either you're being told to go wash yourself or something is paid to your parents to just keep quiet. So like my colleagues are saying, this has been going on for ages. There is quite a lot happening, especially in rural schools and in schools that are based in low-income areas. So you would find a lot of these things are covered because the teachers are powerful.
Okay. Yeah. Maureen, like you have 3 girls.
Yes, I have.
So when you hear stories like this, how do you prepare your girls? Are they in high school? Do you have
No,
them in
no,
high school?
no. They're still
But how are you preparing
lower
them?
primary.
Even in primary school, we hear incidences such as these taking place. So do you talk to them or do you tell them?
For my daughter, like I keep on telling her, even the house girl is not allowed to touch your choo-choo, like when you're showering. It's only you who washes your choo-choo. Mommy and daddy are not allowed to touch your choo-choo when you're showering. It's only you who's allowed to do that. And also, nowadays, well, back then I would say I'm going to take my daughters to boarding school. But now I've changed my mind. I don't want to do it anymore because I don't think my daughters are safe in a boarding school because of all these incidences of fire, rape, But in that boarding school is where I got the discipline, the independence, and to be who I am today. And that is what I wanted for my daughters. But now I don't believe in the system anymore.
Were you in boarding school?
Yes, I was.
Okay, which high school?
Giakanja High School.
Where?
Giakanja, in Nyeri.
No, but I mean, do you think we don't speak out enough for the boys? Do these things happen in boys' schools?
They do. Not particularly in my school, but I do believe they do happen. They do affect young boys, and I think also there is a danger of not involving them because boys are told you just toughen up and suck it in.
Mwende, you're a lawyer. What can we do?
We may have our issues with the justice system, but clearly it means that there is also a gap in terms of knowledge and awareness, because for you to tell someone who's been defiled to go clean themselves, yet legally they are not supposed to even change their clothes. And for me, it begs the question, what do our teachers get trained on? And the other thing for me would also be to make sure that school heads and principals go through some form of management training, because then what they do is very different from what the teachers are doing. They need to have that mindset that they are doing an oversight role, and they need to be aware that I'm in charge of these girls, their security, their safety. I need to make sure that, for example, how they are liaising with the teachers is proper. I need to make sure that they have a space where they can come to me. If not me, they can come to anyone in administration to report such issues.
I can't even imagine what that girl went through, because I too slept in that school one day in that dorm room, and you know, so many nights I spent there, and it was a beautiful place where I learned how to be an independent woman, but at the same time it's a very vulnerable place where the fact that that can happen to a girl, that could have been me.
During clinics, you know, the biggest concern is how many marks did you get in your last mathematical test? But the question we should be asking is, how are you doing really? Before we get to the mathematics, how are you doing really? Because I believe if your well-being is taken care of, even the academic excellence will just come.
Do you think this is a problem that goes way beyond primary school, high school? Are these issues we deal with in the workplace?
Sexual harassment happens in public, in the streets, it happens in the workplace, it happens in every context.
How will a girl feel safe enough to speak out against such action if her mom cannot safely speak out against such action at work?
Look at Me Too, what happened? It's just because one person said something.
But generally, I just want to add that sometimes the culture of silence, we keep quiet quite a lot because we don't understand the impact this has on the life of the girl. And not only the girl, the family and the society generally. Because if sexual violence leads to pregnancy, early pregnancy, school dropout, and this generally spirals into poverty in the family, poverty in the society, and generally suffering. So we need to look at it that it does not just affect the girl, but it affects the entire family and the entire community.
Okay. So it's a subject we definitely cannot comprehensively cover in just a few minutes. So definitely it's a conversation that needs to move forward and to go forward. But thank you very much for contributing.